Want to bet? Bet on what?
I'll take that bet right on.
Welcome, YouTube, to episode number 8 of Wanna Bet. I'm your host, Matthias, and my goal with this show is to make you a more educated sports bettor. What a weekend in football. Today is Monday, September 16th, so this is our review show from the previous weekend where we go over our results and how we did. Not going to take too much time with it. Might go over just a little bit of a look ahead as far as what lines we have for week 4 college football and then week 3 NFL. So this past weekend, one of my best college football weekends I've ever had. I know on last week's look ahead, all those plays that we had, if you were to take our stability scores, they absolutely crushed it. I am going to share my screen here. Hopefully this works well. Basically, this is everything that I had in college football this year. So this is college football against the spread. Spread only, no over-unders, nothing like that. This being just fully transparent, these are just what I've wagered. I am trying to make a run at this, so I have increased my unit size throughout the years as I've profited. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you're betting. This is what mine are. So for our stability score plus our own little handicap, we are actually sitting, well, we finished 27-13 against the spread. That's good for 67%. Start out of the year, week 1, we had a lower unit size. Our unit right now is $100 is what we're putting on a game. So you kind of see it gradually increased a little bit, but this past week basically started right here with this UNLV game. So currently our net profits are $751. So, you know, I said this before, this like how great Saturday was, you have to be fully ready for it to go the opposite. So we're going to put our plays in for next week. This could flip completely on its side. You could go 0-10 just like that. So taking your profits and being smart with them is very important. I've taken every profit I've made and just reinvested it to increase my unit size. That's all this is. So I could not be happier with our handicapping system so far. It's worked. It's the most profitable thing I've ever done in sports betting. So kind of sad to see it go. I don't know if I can, you know, I said week 4 is when you cut it off. Week 3, is when you cut it off. I don't know if week 4, if anything will make sense to put together, but I'm going to start going after that tonight. But you can see here's our results. So we had UNLV plus 9.5, Arkansas State 23.5. This one was not the stability score. I just teased Memphis and Texas State through 6. So I had Memphis plus 12.5, Texas State plus 3.5. So that was just a two-way parlay that hit. Oklahoma State first half minus 8.5, Notre Dame minus 10. What a wallop. That game was over in the first quarter. Washington State plus 5, wins outright. Oregon minus 16, absolutely throttled Oregon State. Iowa minus 21 did not cash. I feel like a sicko betting Iowa to cover 21 points. That was stupid. Anyhow, Liberty. Have bet Liberty a few times this year. That one just never quite worked out. That 23-point favorite did not come home. USF cashes. Texas first half, cover 20.5. That cashed pretty easy. Toledo plus 12.5. Outright winner in Mississippi State. What a freaking time to be alive. That was, I mean, Saturday I was just smiling from ear to ear. And it's one of those, like, you're watching the games on TV and then you keep like checking I use Juice Reel and I'm checking Juice Reel and like your probability win rate is like, 80-90% for all your plays. You're like, all right, something's got to fall apart, but nothing did. So I'm just so excited. I think that's awesome that it worked out as well as it did. So yeah. Finishing up our stability score index, 27-13, 67.5% win percentage. That's massive. Happy it went that way. I don't expect a run like that to continue. But finishing up college football, going into our NFL, we didn't do great, not terrible. Honestly, could have done a lot worse had we not had the Cowboys over-under was good, and then we had a few props that went our way. But for the most part, NFL was quite the bloodbath. I had heard a gentleman on VSiN, someone that works with the casino, say this was one of the best weekends he can even remember working at a sports book at all, because the public just got absolutely hammered. Sharps got hammered. It was just a great weekend for the sports book. This is our football season total. So this is against the spread plus over under, sitting at 34-19, 64.15%, profit of $660. NFL 6-5 for a net loss $82. NCAA football 28-14, just as we said before, profit of $741. So our NFL plays last weekend. Gosh, that Rams one looks really bad. I thought they were going to win that game outright. That was my tip for you guys. There are two things. I had recommended two plays, and one of them I could have swore I put the ticket in, and it just didn't go through. I actually went to go, and when I was doing my spreadsheet, I was like, where's my Colorado -7 play? I didn't even put it in. So I just missed that one. So I'm not counting that as a win. But on the flip side of that Giants-Commanders game, I never did see it go to 2. So it was sitting at that -1.5, so I never ended up taking it. That game ended up losing, so I guess those kind of wash out. One recommended win, one recommended loss, but I'm not putting those on my stat sheet. I would put the Giants one on there since it was a loss, so hand up, that was my bad. But I didn't see it hit the 2. Reviewing this, Lions first half -4.5. Holy crap, they never had a chance against the Bucs. I mean, you look at that game on paper, and that's what I'm saying as far as you have to do more than the final score. Like, you dig into that box score, the Lions, I think they almost had twice the yardage in the air and on the ground. And, I mean, Dan Campbell just stopped running the ball, and running the ball was the only thing that was working. They had 7 first downs inside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers territory red zone, and they came away with 1 touchdown. So that was a brutal play. That one never really stood a chance. That was kind of one of those dead right at the start of the game, that 7.5, or excuse me, that 4.5 first half spread. Seahawks -3.5. This sucks because that number was sitting at 3 when we made our video. I missed the 3. I hope you guys took it. I'm counting it as a loss for myself because I didn't get the best number. If you took the 3, you at least pushed, but who would have thought that the New England Patriots were going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals and then the following week put up a fight? Geno Smith led the league in passing yards this weekend. Football this is why this is the hardest thing to do, because the outcomes are just so insane. I did take that Rams money line I put on here, 0.05. I don't know what I was doing. That was a loss. Cardinals just absolutely throttled them. Kyler Murray, about halfway through the game, I did put in an MVP ticket, 40-1 or 40-1, I think was the play. So I put a half a unit on Kyler Murray MVP because I think voters want something different. And man, did him and Marvin Harrison Jr. look awesome yesterday. So that was a big loser. Freaking Rams just decimated by injuries. Cooper Kupp's on IR now. Puka Nakua's out. I mean, Matthew Stafford, he spent a lot of the day on his back yesterday. That was a tough one to watch. Their defense is getting all beat up. The Rams are going to have a really, really bumpy rest of the way. The saving grace we had as far as our NFL bets go, Saints Cowboys over. I talked about this, 2 explosive offenses. It really was 1 explosive offense. Guess what? It was not the Cowboys. New Orleans Saints 2-0 against the spread, and just quite frankly have beat the pants off of all their opponents so far. So that one was over in the first half. So you do love to see it, although the games weren't going in our favor very well. At least we had some stuff to root for. So those were our NFL plays finished up this weekend. 1 and 2 and 3, excuse me. 2 and 3 for the NFL. No, excuse me. This is 1 and 3. I'm sorry. That was Boise State. NFL 1 and 3. That's tough. We had some props go over. Of the plays we had recommended, I think 6 out of the 10 made it over if you got those numbers in the right direction. On our next show, I will get those. I'll log all those and make sure that we're keeping track of those as well. So week 2 was a crazy one in the NFL. Week 3 college football was good. And this is what we're going to continue to preach, is just the importance of the ebbs and flows of sports betting. Just, you never want to get too high and you never want to get too low. So we've had a couple great weeks, a couple okay weeks. I'm fully anticipating that, Red Wedding to come sooner than later. It's going to happen. I'd love it for it to not happen. If we could stay, my goodness, if we could stay at 64%, we won't. I'd be the best sports bettor on the planet. We could really make a run. we could really make a run at doing this thing. So that is all I have currently for our recap. Thank you guys for tuning in. Right now, real quick, I am going to switch gears. I've looked at the opening lines for the NFL as well as college football. College football doesn't really have everything posted on all the different sportsbooks offerings yet, so hard to find different advantages here and there go. But, some pretty good matchups. Nothing jumped out at me when I went through it real quick. But as far as the NFL goes, we've had a ton of movement already, and we have a ton of injuries. So this Thursday, we got Patriots and Jets. Jets are laying 6 points. This is one that's moved. So Bears going to Indianapolis playing the Colts. This one was 1.5 before last weekend. Bears laying 1.5. Now it's up to Bears +2. I hate betting teams I have vested rooting interest in, but I really like the Bears +2 in that game. Giants put up a fight against Washington. They're getting 6.5 points versus Cleveland. Eesh. Yeah. All right, there's no reason for me to go through this, but okay, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below if you ended up tailing any of these bets. If we helped you in any way, please let me know. I'd be really glad to hear it, that things are going well for you. If you had any questions or comments, leave them down below. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We will go into the lab. We will have our college football plays out Thursday night. We'll have our NFL plays out Friday night. So our goal is to keep the college streak running and bring that NFL downside and turn it around and start going up as well. So thank you guys for watching, and good luck with your bets.